To create a web that works for everyone, accessibility, usability, and inclusion are intertwined. When planning and building websites and applications, it is most beneficial to address them all at once because their objectives, methods, and principles are synonymous. Their similarities create a problem, though. It is difficult to tell the difference between usability and accessibility. The biggest similarity occurs when accessibility changes, increases usability for all, and when a usability increases accessibility. An example of this is using high contrast colors for a website. Not only does this help people with low vision or color blindness, but it also helps those using their devices in bright sunlight. Similarly, usability can be achieved by using simple language and intuitive designs to assist those with cognitive disabilities in using a product or service more productively. Despite their similarities, there are times when issues are just usability issues and when issues are truly accessibility issues. Usability issues occur when all users, regardless of ability, have difficulty using a product or service, which tends to affect every user, regardless of ability. Accessibility issues occur when people with disabilities encounter difficulties using or accessing a product or service. This final lesson will focus on answering this question. How do accessibility, usability, and inclusion distinctly work together to create a web that works for everyone? To best answer this question, you will be examining the definition of usability and user experience. According to the W3C, some overlaps and distinctions exist between accessibility, usability, and inclusion. Accessibility addresses discriminatory aspects related to equivalent user experience for people with disabilities. Web accessibility means that people with disabilities can equally perceive, understand, navigate, and interact with websites and web-based tools. Within that realm lies usability. Usability includes user experience design. It is about designing products that are effective, efficient, and satisfying. Unfortunately, these practices of usability do not fully address the needs of people with disabilities. Thus, accessibility must be in its own discipline. The outer ring of the interconnection is about inclusion. Inclusion is more focused on diversity and ensuring the involvement of everyone to the greatest amount possible, otherwise known as universal design. A commonly used slogan is "Nothing about us without us." This slogan speaks perfectly to the idea of full representation in testing for user experience. This means that no policy should be decided without the full participation of the members it directly affects. Testing for usability and universal design should be no different. Testing code is not enough. While checking for all the required attributes and properties of accessibility is important, it doesn't ensure that people can use it. Given the differing combinations of people, age, experience, disability, and ability, it's impossible to know what everyone may need. That is why the primary goal in usability and inclusive design is to follow the accessibility guidelines and make the experience the best that it can be for all users. That is why usability testing with diverse people is so important. Each user's experience is unique. Don't make assumptions about what solutions people need. Ask and listen to their needs. Only then can you provide an effective, efficient, and pleasant user experience for everyone. In conclusion, accessibility, usability, and inclusion are all interrelated. Testing with real users is the best way to evaluate accessibility and user experience. Along with testing, keeping a mindset of inclusiveness in design results in the three disciplines complementing and collaborating to create a product that best benefits all people. Here marks the end of Unit 2, Accessibility and Design. At the completion of this unit, you should be well versed in the impacts of accessibility and principles of design. The next unit will focus on standards, laws, and strategies that maintain the practice of accessibility.